Hey Taurus, how are you doing? I've got some idea. I set these cards out for you a few days ago, and then I had to get some other work done. So I'm back. I've been sort of keeping my mind on. Well, I've been letting the cards breathe, basically settle in my home environment, because there's some very interesting, what seem to me contrasting energies coming through here. And of course, we'll get into a full tarot read, and we'll get into the Lenormand as well, as much as we want for clarification. I have Mel Brown's Aboriginal Spirit Oracle here. She is my absolute favorite go-to person, and her ancestors for really pulling no punches. And in their energy right now, oh, we've got confusion underneath, no wonder. But it's in reverse. Normally I won't take a reverse for oracles, but it's there in reverse for a reason. So we have some very interesting, what I would say, Ouranos energy coming through for you with this Father Sky card, which we'll get into after we get through tarot. But if you want to meditate on that energy, see how that, the descriptions that she writes, that she channels, are usually like very different even from what I'll imagine them to be. This is actually, I think this is the first card that came out in the deck for me personally when it came. And I'm a Venus Taurus. So, yeah, no, I'm very... I get an ancestral feeling to it with all of these connections coming through in this drawing, this painting. Got some sacred smoke going up from one of the candles that just burned its way out. Okay, so there's that energy with, I do believe, I'm looking at frustration reversed. Okay. So we won't read that one, but that's an underlying energy, okay? Oh, and if just to be thorough here, we've got the love card. So something about, now that love card is very clear about love being absolutely conditional, that love protects boundaries, sets boundaries. And that's the key to love, to understanding love, is operating within and respecting boundaries. So again, it's one of those situations where she really challenges, and her ancestors really challenge, and God challenges what my understanding is from other teachers, especially when it comes to love. And also she teaches many lessons on compassion, being separate from empathy and sympathy. So if that's all sounding about right, then I also have Susan Shepherd's Phoenix cards here. Susan is another one I love. She passed out of this dimension last April 19th, leaving her 22, I guess 23-year-old daughter behind now, although I'm sure she stays in touch. And here we have the Jukun tribe of what is now Nigeria. I know that there are ties between, she points out that there are ties between some of their ritual traditions and what become Commission ritual traditions. So whichever way those rituals moved back and forth across the continent. Now this card also came out for, do I want to say Leo or Sagittarius? Leo. So there could be some very strong Leo energy for you right now, which is all about, again, ancestors. If you get into the Nakshatras, then you get way more depth and understanding astrologically, because the Nakshatras are part of a system that goes back 24,000 years in astrological studies. So then we are dealing with the last pada of the Ashlesha Nakshatra, all the sections of the Magha or Maka Nakshatra, and Purva Falguni. So I'll put links to my favorite website for information on those nakshatras if you want to look into that for more information. But Magha is all about ancestral baggage and claims on you. But this is Susan's cards are the Phoenix cards are, she does past life work. I still have yet to really confirm for myself. I'd like to say this is my one incarnation, but it's easy to understand the universe, this pocket of the multiverse, as a giant recycling plant. So if that speaks to you at all, but we rely on these cards. I love that they are so culturally diverse, that she did all the work and went to all the trouble to pull together what is a very comprehensive deck of world culture, world religious history, spiritual history. And so this could be messages coming in for you, Taurus, from ancestors from this part of the world, okay? Or to tap you into the energy of this part of the world. So we'll leave that. We have a Celtic mirror in reverse. So possibly a period of intensity is over. The Celtic mirror is very tied to intensity, because we do have this King of Swords upright over here in the tarot. Now the tarot, the deck split for me very decisively. Well, always decisively, but it made the point of wanting me to check what was at the bottom of the deck. I don't always. Sometimes it speaks directly right off the top card and the bottom card. But to check where the splits were, top and bottom. And I've got the Hierophant in reverse, so that's your own house. A Hierophant always makes me pay attention to the keys that the Hierophant is guarding, the keys to knowledge. So we're going to find out now, and the King for me is 11th house. I organized all of the decks according to, I do housework in astrology, which I'm going to get to I'm going to point out something in a minute here. But for me, this would be Aquarius energy because it's 11th house energy. It could be anybody, and especially you, right? But we're going to get into specifically why the King position versus the Hierophant reversed, and then these two swords, having to make up your mind about a new situation, versus the Ten of Swords. Also in like 3 cards in reverse. And for me, that would be Gemini. So something about what you know, something about education, something about the truth, something about ethics. 3rd house. It could be commercial. It could be because Mercury, Hermes, is the traveling patron god of the traveling salesperson. So there could be everything to do with business communication. Okay, and obviously betrayals, but also the Ten of Swords is a south node, so there's an opportunity either, and a south node is an opportunity away from something. So, and it usually runs about every 18 years, 7 months. So if you need clarification on what kind of opportunity, if you look at what happened in your life around age 18, and again, age 36, multiples, yes, 37. Because down here we have what looks like a social context with this garden card in the Lenormand. We have it in reverse. This is all about your social status. And we have a 2. The 20 converts to the 2. So a decision, a direction to take. And we also have the 8 Swords. Now, 8 Swords has been your card, Taurus, in my readings for about a year now. It's the Houdini card as far as I'm concerned. And you have been in a very long trajectory this past year of pulling off a Houdini-like stunt. So massive amount of freedom. Now, why it's in reverse in the social setting is, you know, again, all these contrasting energies, and right underneath it, I have the Fox reversed, which for me personally, yes, the Fox is a troublemaker, but it comes with the 9 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands is actually a card that manifested in my world before I ever got into card reading, and it witnessed for me by actually appearing somewhere that it shouldn't be as a card, and with the back of it saying, repeating words that I had just said to somebody in an argument. So it stood witness for me when no humans could. So my spirit guides, one of my strongest spirit guides is tied to that 9 Wands. That 9 Wands, if you go to thecardsoflife.com, the Cards of Life, not Cards of Life, then you start to find out who you can find that's matched up to the 9 of Wands, date-wise. And so I found somebody who's very much one of my spirit guides who's tied to that. So I know that it was them helping me that day. And I've tested that out over and over again through different experiences. It's nothing I can prove very quickly in a few seconds here. My point being is that even though the Fox is here, there is protection with that Fox. And sometimes the Fox, for me, it's even been a good thing. because it's making me think of Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog. So, but we have the Tower with it, and we have the reap what you sow. We have the harvest, the scythe, the sickle. So something is done. Something's finished with this, and we also have the Knight. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so it's a very long project, very intense project, right? And we put it with this. If it's going to cost, you know, we put it with the reappearance of these 8 swords. And for me, Knight of Pentacles is totally Virgo, and Virgo was a very long season. The sun lasts in Virgo from mid-September to end of October, November 1st. I've created an uneven zodiac that's accurate. If you go to Stellarium or Scarsifori, then you can, you can track where the sun actually, how it transits, and create. I'll put it in the description to this as well, the dates for when the sun is hitting, and we're actually almost just hitting the midpoint right now. I'll get Stellarium up on the screen in a second. But you see we have this 10 and this 1, so this completion and starting fresh. So that's definitely a thing that is, you're going to make the most of it, and you're going to release it, because we have the Tower with it as well, with these 6 swords, the safe passage. Now the Tower in the Lenormand, and with that we have the 19, which gives us a 10 again, which gives us the 1. So we're repeating, but the completion and the starting over. But this Tower is all about looking at things from multiple perspectives, either from the ground or from the top of the tower, and really gaining, pulling together your insights from both perspectives and making a fresh decision. In this deck, this is my animal spirit oracle. I've got a lot of animal spirit guides in my life, especially through my clients. And this because it has, now I've got 3 parrots in my life particularly, and I think it's primarily through them that I've been connected to this deck. This is a deck I've had since I was a kid that I never imagined to be using for tarot, but the elephant reminds me of Ganesha energy, which is all to do with the story you're here to tell. Memory, of course, elephants and their memory. So if there are any memory issues, if there are any mind issues, Monarch Mind Control Butterfly, yes, the Monarch Mind Control Program, because this is what first clued me in. Because if there is any mind control, if there are any manipulations, this deck, the animals tell me, because the animals are not prone to what we're prone to, yes? And so we start off in this deck with the Queen of Pentacles, who's in reverse. So there is either manipulation on this queen, or this queen is manipulating, is controlled, can't see, can't answer for herself, something like that, right? With the 5 Pentacles in the upright. Now, necessary change in the upright. So it's here, it's now, it's happening. Is she stopping it from happening? Is it happening for her? That's what we got to find out. I mean, it's Pentacles energy, so it seems like it very much would be you. But then how do we contrast the Queen of Pentacles with that King of Swords, right? And this Jack, who would be similar, either a page or a knight. This person runs the operation. So does the king, right? They would be business owners. They're very independent, or high up the chain, right? Because the knight answers to the king and the queen. So now this knight or page, so we either have like sort of, we have someone who is under the thumb of, right? But we also have, of course, the movement, the action, the delivery of a knight, yes? So it could represent action, but it's under control. This whole movement is it's being manipulated or controlled, okay? Because it came out in reverse. So I would say if it weren't a person, it should come out as just a number. So I'm saying there is a person that's there are 2 people that are under control, and there's a necessary change. Now we have the swords again here. So communication. We have Libra for me. This is Libra energy. So that's what that's what we need to get into. I do have, oh, and I have underneath a 4 of Pentacles. No, not Pentacles, Spades. Sorry, I gotta get swords. Gotta get my glasses. Again, under control. I've checked the deck. It's a mix of upright and reverse. 4 swords. So that's more Gemini. Okay, so that's working with the 2 of swords in reverse and the 10 of swords in reverse. So we'll keep those. I've got Wild Kuan Yin here as well that we'll finish with. And I do have the Divine Doors. And what I'll say about this blue door, this is also the first first card that ever came out for me in that deck personally. So we've got 3 very pivotal cards that speak to beginnings for me personally. So I'm going to bring that into this because it's a message that's been repeated 3 times in this reading so far. 3 times is something connected to the Nakshatras that are in, or one of the Nakshatras. I believe it's Shravana in Capricorn. Lines up with Capricorn. It could be Uttara, Ashada, but it could be Dhanishta, but I want to say that it's Shravana. But there's one of those Nakshatras, a thing has to be repeated to that person 3 times. And that is tied also to the elephant energy, the Ganesha energy of memory. So there's something about memory, something about what needed to be repeated in your life 3 times. So if you can think about something that, and it probably won't come to mind while I'm saying it, but after the fact. So with this door that's here, it is a blue. It's not the deep blue that I get. There are 3 doors in this deck that are a certain, very specific blue that is exactly the blue that my, I work with, I'm a Scorpio rising, so I work with a lot of people who have passed over, especially people who were murdered. And they send me messages all the time out in the outside world through a particular blue. And when I got this deck, I didn't know, well, no, I did know that blue was in this deck, but there are only 3 doors that are that blue. There are a couple of other blue doors. I want to say, and we've got, there's a blue, this blue is echoing in, I've got 2 cards from this deck. Also wanted to speak through 2 cards. So there's divided, I think because there's divided energy. Right? And it's got that light blue as well. It's got a sheep, a lamb right there. Okay? Yeah. No. Well, it's standing like a sheep. It could be a dog. It could be. But the emphasis for me, I've got this card only one other time for Virgo, like last year, way long ago. Almost, yeah, like a year and a half ago. But with all the blue as well in the swords. So there's, I will say that I believe that there is somebody on the other side coming through with a message. So we'll find out what that is. Not just, I mean, I'm always connected with Kali. She showed up in my living room October 17th, 2019. So, so I know that she's always part of anything I do. Grandmother Spider for that matter. But, well, the Great Mother. I come from a Jesus background, so 26 years inside every kind of denomination. So there's, you know, I don't want to count him out either. But the Orisha are very strong with me. They came into my life through missionaries in my family who were over devastating Nigeria. So the fact that the Nigeria card, a tribe out of Nigeria, is here again also connects very strongly with some personal knowledge that I've been brought up in and developed in. So the Orisha could very much be part of this. So I'm going to reset everything and we'll get into the tarot. Hopefully everything is resonating fairly strongly for you already, which is what I like to do just to get the ball rolling. But there will be probably 3 parts to this reading, and at the end of the 3rd part, I'm going to do a walkthrough of, this is most of my book. The fire signs are missing. They're over on my work table. But this is a 13-month project that I'm just finishing up. We're in Sagittarius, the final house right now. And we go through everything that has to do with, as well as with the Nakshatras. So I'm going to do a walkthrough of that. It's going to be starting up again soon. If that's any interest to you at all, then I'll do a page by page. It's about a half-hour walkthrough. And I'll also link to an intro video for it. But it basically, by the time you're done, it's totally taken you through a complete transformative experience in your chart. It uses an uneven chart that's accurate. It includes the Nakshatras. We do constellation work, we do sign work. We dig into the myths, how much they tie into real humans, what was stolen from what cultures, what the truth actually is, as best as we can get to it, who your guides are, what they're working on with you, the gaps in your charts, like all kinds of hidden things in your charts that, so far as I know, and we bring the tarot in as well. So it's not just pure chart astrology. It's also bringing in and matching up all the tarot work, all the tarot cards with it. Okay, so I'll get reset, and let's get into the details of your story. Excepting that I forgot just briefly here, I wanted to show you on Stellarium where we are. Now the sun, I was like, we've got Pisces constellation here. The ecliptic is going to run, come on, come back to me. Okay, the ecliptic runs, the sun's going to run a path around through this part, right? So it's going to take a while to climb up that side of Pisces. So I'm still saying for now, if I could just get it, the problem is where I'm at right now, they're still not giving me the nighttime. So I'm going to say right now, there we go, that the sun is still crossing over the midpoint between Aquarius and Pisces. So I'm still keeping it in Aquarius for another couple of days maybe. I had it scheduled to cross over around the 15th. This is the 9th. I don't know if we're going to make it quite to the 15th before it's in Pisces. But you can see how it's getting close to Neptune here. I'm going to be lining up with Neptune. So all the wild, crazy, amazing stuff. But Pisces, I need to point out, is very much about being completely organized. Because Pisces and 12th house, Pisces wears every crown, rides the chariot. The emperor energy truly, empress energy truly is, I know Venus, but Pisces, because 12th house can be like all houses, it takes on the responsibilities of all the houses, and the queen and king of cups can think like every other king and queen. So that's why you see a lot of Pisces sitting still. Okay, all right, so now I'll get set up, but that's where, yeah, I really recommend Stellarium and Sky Safari. Okay, so I'm choosing to go with the focus on the Two of Swords reversed here. To clarify that, we'll figure it out. I've got the King of Swords over here with the Hierophant reversed and the South Node reversed, or the Ten of Swords, all those betrayals reversed, along with the Lenormand. I'm going to connect this situation, this Fox reversed, with whatever's going over here in the controlled situation. And I feel like that way I'm staying fairly organized with the information. And often what happens is the cards fly according to, there's sort of like a geomancy aspect to this, where the direction that things fall in affects all of it. They do a lot of card tricks with me. And so, again, and the Eight of Swords being the #1 card trick that they've ever worked through my hands. So I'm going to get 2 more doors, and then we'll read them, and then we'll plug them into the story in the tarot as we go. So we'll keep that one, obviously. 2 more doors, please, for Taurus. Okay. Oh, okay, so we're going there again. So this is, got address is 42. which takes me to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Land, 42 being the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So there's a sense of humor here, because Douglas Adams is very much a comedy writer. Yeah, sense of humor, sense of perspective again with that tower. So maybe the tower is about your sense of humor. Are you writing anything humorous? 42 is the answer. His character poses the question, what's, well, a big part of the storyline, Hitchhiker's Guide, is what is the question to life, the universe, and everything. And 42, I don't want to wreck it for anybody. 42 is the answer, and then 42 ends up being very specific. But 42 is half of an Ouranos cycle. So we're going back to this father sky energy. And the tower. Again, Ouranos and the tower. So both towers are probably part of the story. Yeah, an Ouranos cycle. So what happened when you were 21, 42? They really do. Like it sticks to that path. Okay. Of course, I'll read the back of it in a second. One more door, please. Okay, flip them around. Flip them around. One more. No. Okay. There we go. Oh, the root work. Okay, this is from Angkor Wat. Tamfat. I think the oldest part of the temple grounds. But all this root work, very familiar with this. Okay, so then this for me, in my astrology work with this card, where it's come out before, is in Sagittarius, there is Mula Nakshatra, which is all about root work. So there could be something Sagittarius about this for you. Okay. Let's read these. And then we'll know as we go. So this one, yes, always, and we have rusting, right? It's beautiful. It adds so much to the personality, yes? But definitely, if somebody wanted to be, well, I don't know. Maybe it's better just left exactly like that. Deeper. Yeah, it's further to the root work. You're not finished. You're not yet done. Dig deeper and deeper. The best is yet to come. Or the best is to come. Hold on. Pass this card on. Okay, when I see pass this card on, it means somebody else is involved and somebody else's timing is involved. That's just what I've been led to understand over time. Dig deeper and deeper. Well, that's echoing the root work. How is it echoing in the rest? Something that you need to know. There's something you need to know. Now, if I think back to Sagittarius's read, Sagittarius needed to go back. They also got reference to the keys. They needed to go back to find the key to something. So if that resonates at all, getting me to cross-reference that. Okay. The 42. So possibly sense of humor. Inner power. By your own command, you brought yourself here. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. So no matter what's charted, no matter, it's your own efforts in your life. I'm not saying that you are all-powerful or you're to blame. For me, this is not a good universe, and my God is up against it. I have a hacker God. And if you get into the work of the Naga, either seen as, well, there are people called the Naga over in the Himalayas. I get this from Vidhyamitra.com, that their yogis have always maintained, through the wisdom of the Naga, that this is a prison planet. So whatever, then you've had to fight your way here. You are one part of the hacking system. You are part of the fight, that you have exerted your own strength in order to get this far into the fight. You've dedicated yourself to the people, the God that you're loyal to the guides that you're loyal to. So yes, they help you. Yes, you're charted for things, but you have also acted in your own strength. And that's a credit to you. I don't mean that as anything but a credit to you. And so this tower moment, this tower experience, however negative it feels, it's part of what you have helped to make possible. And this is not far from the Naga. Hummingbird song. Nectar of sweetness, in joy it brings, the hummingbird's healing, as medicine it sings. Pass this card on. Again, so other people involved, other timing involved, space-time, interdimensional stuff here. Again, with the Knight of Pentacles and the Virgo energy, absolutely. Virgo is all Time Lord issues. Taurus, you dig. You and Scorpius, you and Scorpio, you dig and you bury. You make the ground move. You shift everything. You're groundbreaking. For me, you're cardinal Earth, because you're second house. So there's something groundbreaking. Now the hummingbird. Nectar of sweetness, the nectar that it brings. Fast movement hummingbird. Can't see the wings. And the medicine. Okay, where are we going with that? We'll find out. So I'll set these up. And so I feel like we're along, I like a lot of the prep work that they get me to do and what they get me to say, because then they affirm it with the tarot cards as we go, and especially once we get to the oracles. Okay. I'll just keep recording while I set these up. Okay, I'm going to keep them out. No. Oh, I can read them. Okay. All right, let's just breathe into the deck for a moment here. They don't need me to shuffle ever, except for our sakes. It's for our sakes that we shuffle, because they know exactly what cards they want. One more, okay. And then, what is this? What needs to be known? What has been, if we look at it, leading back to the Ace of Swords, yeah, what needs to be known? Wow. Okay, I'm going to take it right as it came out. It wasn't a clear, like it didn't slam out. So there's something very progressive, this has been sliding in, shall we say, this Scorpius energy. And what was I saying, Taurus, about you and Scorpius digging and burying because you're across from each other? And because we flip it between northern and southern hemispheres, yes. So definite timing here, right? We're talking about other people's timing, what other people need to go through, what events need to happen. I've got this Rosicrucian-esque rose here. We could have events that are controlled by the Brotherhood. The Great White Brotherhood could be definitely part of this. So obviously a Pluto-Mars conversion, a Pluto maybe. And we do have this bishop, this papal symbol. It's akin to the Hierophant, begging for life, but knowing that it was always bigger. But they do know. Okay, so the power structure. The power structure. It's almost squaring off with this Hierophant the way I have it positioned. But Scorpio is all about the scavenger hunt as well. It has everything to do with finding those keys, that missing information. In one of the Nakshatras of Scorpius, I want to say Anyarada, but it could be Jesta. I'll check in this reading. I'll get the charts out. There is the hidden knowledge, especially of planetary influences, because up until the past century, we didn't know about Neptune, Ouranos, Chiron, the comet, or Pluto. And so they weren't calculated into the astrology. So that it's a reminder of how much humans have been made to crawl to gain knowledge, and then fed misinformation since the beginning, right? And given complexes, a prison planet, right? Okay, so the fact that 4 major influences in our astrology were kept from us. And what it took to even understand the other influences, yes? But so much of the knowledge of ourselves built up for so many thousands of years without knowing Uranus, without knowing Chiron, without knowing Neptune and Pluto. And those are pivotal influences. And this is, I've tied each of the padas of that nakshatra to that kind of knowledge. Because there's very little known in either system about what the heck Scorpius is here to do. There's just, when you get into the descriptions, it's like, even the best. So there's, very interesting that we have exactly like the opposing, what needs to succeed when things are opposing each other in a chart, they need to succeed together. And we have Hierophant, and so we have Taurus and Scorpius. So the burying and the digging up have to succeed together. So what needed to be buried? What needed to start over? Okay, stuff wants to pop out, but okay, well that's clear. Connecting, we've got like a bridge energy between this indecision or this decision. This could be a definite decision because it's not in the questioning position, it's in the reverse position. Tying over to, because it would explain the King of Swords position. Now it's also squaring off. So it's providing friction with the, and I like to talk about it before I flip it. If it wanted it to, see how it comes out in upside down, right? It wants me to, they want me to talk before I show what it is, because then they'll affirm. It's squaring off. When you have a square in astrology, it's creating friction, it's creating movement, it's pushing, it's making things happen. So whatever this is, if it feels bad, if it feels good, whatever it feels like, if it's a combination, it's there to help move this forward. And it's charted. It could also be stuck energy though, obviously. Okay, so your guides. Aries house, first house, this portal. Aries house is all about how long it takes you in this lifetime to wake up to who you are, to wake up to understand that you have a chart, to understand who you are by your chart and what to do about it and who you're connecting with, who your guides are. We have the 1111 here. But I just finished work on Aries house. I just finished the month in my astrology book on Aries. And they were made, the reason I spend a month in each house is to track it in real time and also to pick up experiences. They send all kinds of affirmations and events that are tied each month to that particular house and sign. We also have Bharani Nakshatra here, and that is Kali's Nakshatra, one of them. The other actually being